Assuming the government of Anambra State take a young man from Ozobolo to the site where they dump all the dustbin in Oka. All the dustbin in Oka is actually dumped at a place called Agwoka. Very big. Assuming the government of Anambra State pick this young Ozobolo man and take him to this site where they dump all the dustbin in Oka and says, look at all this dustbin. This dustbin is now yours. Manage this dustbin. This dustbin is now under your administration. At the end of every year, you will pay us 100 million naira. Manage this dustbin, and at the end of the year, you will pay the government 100 million. You will discover a young man from Akbugo, or a young man from Ogboka, or a young man from Amagunze. We begin to ask himself, why should a man manage dustbin and pay the government? Dustbin is an eyesore. Dustbin it smells, people runs away from it. Why should a man be given assignment of managing a dustbin, and instead of the man being paid, the man will pay the government at the end of the year? But assuming this young Ozobolo man has been exposed to light, you will discover the first thing this young Ozobolo man is going to do is to carry security and guide the dustbin. You just come out the next morning and you see police, armed forces guarding the dustbin right and left. And a young Ogboka man is still asking himself, this man is crazy. Why is police now guarding dustbin? Dustbin that people throw from their own willingness. You now come across, you see people carry gun and they are protecting the dustbin because it's now a man's property. And then the first thing the man does after protecting the security is to call the first team. He says, the first team, your assignment is to separate everything called plastic in this dustbin. Everything called plastic, separate it for me one particular side. And then he called the second team. He says, the second team, your work is to separate everything called metal, copper, and aluminium outside this dustbin. Separate for me everything called metal, copper, and aluminium on one side. He called the third team. He says, the third team, your assignment is to separate for me everything called leather in this platform. Anything that is in form of waterproof, leather, backo bag, separate it for me one side, pure water sachet. He called the fourth team. He says, fourth team, come, sir. He says, separate for me everything called paper here. Carton, paper, 40 leaves, all kind of paper, separate it one side. Follow me carefully. He called the fifth team and says, everything called wire. All kind of wire that people use in house, separate it one side. And then he called the last team and says, everything called biodegradable substances, separate it for me one side. How many things have been separated? 6. Follow me carefully. Ogboka man is still shouting, is this man mad? But the young man was resolute. Governments have told me, pay me 100 million at the end of the year after managing this. All the plastic that has been separated is automatic high cost raw material for reproducing what? Plastic. Copper alone, ask any person who is doing scrap, like you see these men who are into scrap, they are multi-millionaires, if not billionaires. Ask them the cost of all the metals in that dustbin, both metal, copper, and iron. Ask the people who are into plastic, who are into leather, how much they buy all this leather from people who fuse them. You see people, they buy empty carton. Ask the people who buy empty carton how much they buy it. And then the biodegradable substances is eventually going to be converted into manure, because they will create it in a place where they will allow microorganisms to act on it, and then you get your pig feed. How much do you buy pig feed? How much do you buy fish pig? Where do you think those things are gotten from? The pig feed is gotten from the microorganisms fed waste. And the bags of feed there alone will worth billions of naira. But an Ogboka man is still asking himself, why will a man be given dustbin to manage and at the same time be given assignment to pay the government? You will not discover it will come to a point where this normal Aboki people that goes to dustbin to pick scrap, you will come to every dustbin, you'll be seeing army, military men in the checkpoint, in every dustbin. Policemen will be in all dustbin checkpoints in Anambra State to make sure you never remove anything from there. What is the point I'm driving at today? The economic dimension of African Renaissance. Hi, Oju Nwokenishi. The day I'm taking my WhatsApp school, the day I will get in my WhatsApp school, that's the day of mental emancipation, the economic dimension of African Renaissance. For us to understand this economic dimension of African Renaissance, we have to first understand what is called omenana, dealings on the ground. That your eyes is fixed on the ground to understand the natural element within your surroundings and their importance. How do I utilize the things I have starting from this ground? This ground can actually grow leaves. So if I plant corn here, this ground can produce corn. And one corn is sold at the rate of 200, 300. So if I can actually get 1,000 corn, I'm making more than 200,000 naira. Omenana, dealings on the ground. The problem African youth have today is that our eyes is no longer fixed on the ground. Our eyes is fixed up. Derek broke till I get $1 billion dream. Abume paper tessa. African youth are chasing money, but the world is chasing the value that creates money. Because why value creates money, money don't create value. And money don't solve poverty. Money creates poverty in a nation. What solves poverty is the value a nation can create for themselves. The biggest problem African have today that you don't have today is that you don't solve poverty by having money or by giving people money. You solve poverty by giving people functional knowledge. A functional knowledge can be applied, not unapplied functional knowledge. Applied functional knowledge is the creation of wealth. But once our eyes have been taken off from those natural elements within us, and just like the monkey, we are looking at banana. We want to get money, but the monkey fails to ask himself, can I actually plant banana and own banana? And Wakaman is seeing dustbin as a waste. The smell coming out from that dustbin is actually a methane gas. If you did chemical engineering, you will know that there is what is called extraction system, by which you can get that methane gas. You see, that same smell that people are passing and they're closing their nose is monetized, it's monetary. But our eyes have been taken away from the pathways of production. And the reason is because the white man engrafted a system that destroys the cultural ways of the people. And technology can never meet people who are outside their culture. I will get to my WhatsApp school. The day of your emancipation begins that day. Hallelujah. If you hear hallelujah, it simply means Jesus Christ is a criminal. Please. Hallelujah simply means Jesus is the biggest internal criminal. Thank you so much. Today, I want to return Africans back to the paths of exploring nature. If we come back to the paths of exploring nature, there is no limitation to what we can achieve because the raw materials we needed to create these things are here with us. I once watched a video of an African young man on TikTok. The African young boy is hand amputated. He doesn't have hand. And this young African boy was actually able to draft something that he can tie to his hand. And by controlling his brain, the hand will be bringing something up, acting as a normal human hand. It's artificial. He fixed it. He created it by himself. Africans are too intelligent. We are just dwarfed. Government are limiting. We don't have leaders. What we have is European custodians. Your president and your governor is just Western custodians that continues the running of Western colonialist government. The day we have to have our government in Africa, the first thing we destroy is democracy. Because democracy can never give us leaders that will produce our efficiency. But when you come in our WhatsApp group, we unveil things for you. We will unveil things like we unveil the clothes of a woman, and you see, you behold the beauty. There is much in African Renaissance. If you want to join this WhatsApp school, message my PA. This WhatsApp school registration ends in February. The very ending of February, that's the day we are ending. Message my PA on 091 100 79278. Message my PA to register you. It's paid WhatsApp school. Before you jail about Hokawa Mangozi. Thank you so much.